Hello, this is Linda Vetras Nichols, evolutionaryhealer.com, and I have with me the most amazing person, Nadalyn Bradshaw. Welcome, Nadalyn.
Hi.
So great to have you.
Thanks. I'm very happy to be here.
Cool. So, Nadalyn, you have an amazing story of transformation. Would you please share that with all of us?
Yes. So the long and short of it is I've always been creative from the time I was a very small kid, but there were two big shifts in my life where I put my creativity on the shelf because I thought it wasn't important. When I went to college to become a lawyer, when I'm not a lawyer, I'm a singer.
Yeah, right?
And yeah, demise of my first marriage. Or actually before that, I shelved my creativity then. So it wasn't until after I was alone and a single mom that I slowly but surely began to pull my creative gifts back off the shelf and use them just for my own enjoyment. And it eventually evolved into me mentoring my music students in other creative pursuits like photography and art journaling. And here I am now as an online voice and creativity coach.
Cool. And I love this. Be the phoenix rising. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So I thought about the phoenix rising from ashes. I'm also kind of nerdy, so I thought about Dr. Jean Grey from the X-Men and how powerful she was. But
Oh,
I
okay.
had my own heap of creative ashes, and over the years I've been rising from them. And I've been mentoring young women to do the same thing. So it just
Cool.
seemed quite apropos to call my very first course Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, I love it. Very nice. And this is your artwork. This is actually part of the favorite one artwork that you've done that I like the most. It's my favorite, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, thank you.
I
It's
love
one of
it.
my most popular prints in my shop, so I love it.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, and you sell those right off your website. That's awesome. All right, my dear. So, nothing is impossible. Tell us your take on that.
So, if you're like me, you had a childhood in which you were told different things, conflicting things, not necessarily from people that you love, but just in the environment that you grew up in. One of the things that I was told through my environment, not necessarily from people, was
Hmm.
that in order to be successful, there was a certain path that I needed to follow. And if I didn't follow that path, I wouldn't be successful. So creativity is nowhere in that path. No, not if you want a
Wow.
real job. No, not if you want to pay the bills, not if you want to do all this stuff. So I was the good little girl and I followed the path that I was supposed to be on of
Mm.
everyone else. And
Yeah.
once I got out of that and realized, holy crap, this is none of what I want to do. This is none of what's really inside of me. I was faced with a different challenge, the challenge of, oh my gosh, but I've spent so many years trying to be someone else and trying to do what was expected of me or do something else. And now I've really just rediscovered my own creative gifts and I want to use them and I want to share them. But what if it's not going to happen? What if it's too late for that? Because I've already squandered my best prime years, so to speak. But all of that's a lie.
Yeah, right?
And I've learned that just through my own life. None of that's true. And so I'm rebuilding my life the way it's supposed to be now, which is proof
Yeah,
that
right?
nothing truly is impossible.
From your own creative ashes. I love it.
Yes.
So that you really
Yes.
covered it. It's never too late. And we can
Never.
look at many famous people and see that one. You see that on
Oh,
Facebook a lot.
yes. I'm
I
so
love it.
happy to see all those memes popping up. It's like,
Yeah,
yes, that is totally it. 100% it.
I love it. Okay. And circumstances don't matter. So what does that really mean for you?
So, one of the lies that I kind of swallowed whole, especially over the last 15 years, was that, well, I might have a gift or I may have what it takes to be a good singer or an artist or whatever, but can't really move forward because I don't have the resources, or I don't know the right people, or I really don't have the time, or uh, my family needs me and so I can't do anything. I've got to concentrate on that. Those are all circumstances,
Hmm.
and circumstances do not trump your identity and
Yeah.
just who you are. What I do isn't just what I do. It's really who I am. It's who I've always been. So the circumstances don't trump that. So I have 4 kids. I'm a
Mm.
stepmom to one, so I actually have 5.
Wow.
So my kids have just grown up watching me be creative. I didn't have to set them aside or set this aside. They watched me be creative. And then they are discovering right now that they've got their own creative gifts. And because they
Nice.
watched me just be creative, they know that I'm not ever going to discourage them. I'm not ever going to push them either. I'm just
Yeah.
there to nurture them. As far as time, I think all time can be redeemed the minute you step into who you really are and do what you were always meant to do. You'll find that the people that you didn't know, all of a sudden they're at your front door,
Yep.
and the resources that you didn't have, next thing you know, you're getting all kinds of resources for free, or the money that you need is coming to you. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. The circumstances, they instantly change for your benefit once you
Hmm.
just stop using them as an excuse not to do and
Yeah.
not to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Just take action because it's the
Yes.
action that creates the clarity. And
Yeah.
when you're, yeah, and when you're just reaching out and helping really others, um, you get the feedback of what they see in you and what it is that you have that they actually need, so to speak. So I love that. Okay. And mindset. Oh man, you've been through quite the mindset up level this year. So tell us about mindset is everything.
Yeah, because sometimes the mindset blocks can be a real beach, like Daytona Beach. Or no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Like a big beach.
Yes, a really big
Like it's
beach.
all good, but it's really
But
big.
yeah, so I didn't understand what mindset was before last October. That doesn't mean I
Okay,
hadn't been doing mindset work. I just didn't know that's what it was called. Like
got
it's a
it.
thing. Oh, okay, so that's a thing. All right, so yeah, that's what
Oh,
I'm
it's a
doing.
thing.
But one of the things that I've really worked to drive home with the people that are in my circle and the people that are following me and some of the women that have taken my course already is that your gift really is necessary. Your voice is necessary.
Yeah.
And it takes you, I can tell you until the cows come home how valuable you are and how priceless you are and how necessary you are. But at some point, it takes a decision on your part to believe it for yourself.
Right.
Because
And
going back to what you
in
said about the action, you don't take the action until you believe it.
and it's an internal thing. Like you said,
Yes.
I can tell you, great, but that's external, right?
Right.
It's
Right.
external. It's that whole internal thing. I love it. Okay.
Yes.
So, and in doing that, it's time to let go of a whole lot of stuff
Yay.
like judgments and fear and negative thinking. So, do you
Yep.
have some experience stories, to share with us about that?
Yeah, you mean today? Yeah, yeah.
You got enough
I have a
time?
few. I have some experiences, and so this really is all the mindset work, or at least a good chunk of it, right? So letting go of judgments. Being an artist, we tend to be fairly sensitive anyway about just our stuff.
Right.
Erica
And
Badu
hard
said
on
it best.
self, right? Seriously
Yes,
hard on like pianists will play
yes,
this beautiful something, then you're like, that was like perfection, and they're like, I made this mistake and this mistake and this mistake, and I'm like,
exactly.
what? I don't get that.
Exactly. And I'm hardest on myself when it comes to singing. And for a long time, I wouldn't listen to myself on recordings.
Um,
I'm still not crazy about it, but I do it. So that's
we
progress.
And
But
we
yeah,
sound different on recordings too. Oh man, when
yes, we
I
do.
first got a tape recorder and heard myself talking, it was like, ew,
Yeah.
who would want to listen to
It's
that?
like, whoa, who is that?
Then
That's not me. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Ooh,
and
pause. Turn it off.
then I mean, I'm 60 years old and I got my first tape recorder probably in sixth grade. I won it actually. And so that was probably really crap stuff. And so when I was on the radio, when I was probably in my 30s, being interviewed because I was doing refugee resettlement, the gal that was interviewing me said, "You have a really good radio voice." Like, really? And when I was a dancer, if you sang, you had much better advantage of getting
Mhm.
a job. And so my dance teacher was like, "You sing flat." You know? And so then my choir teacher said, "There's something to your voice." And he was actually the stepfather of Dorothy Benham, who won Miss America. He said, "I'd like to see you go to Dorothy's voice coach and, um, and work with her because she's got some special techniques that will really bring your voice out." So I did, and I just absolutely fell in love with singing and even with my own voice, and so that was really special.
Yeah, it's really that's how it's one of the ways you can start really letting go of the judgments.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, you have to believe things for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that really can help is when people that you know and love and trust are telling you, "Oh my gosh, yeah, that was beautiful. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear you sing again." It
Yeah,
kind of
right.
it kind of fuels you, and you're like, maybe I can trust that. Maybe I
Yep.
can believe that. And as you start to believe that, the judgment that you have of your own voice, the judgments that you've held
Mm-hmm.
onto, you start to let them fall away, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah, because I totally hid that singing thing, and it was my mother's 80th birthday last year, and my all my cousins were there, and I sang Secondhand Rose, and my cousins were just like, "Whoa!" Like, I didn't know she could do that,
Yeah, that's
It was
awesome.
really fun. Great feedback too. So I hear you. All right, let's move along. So your voice is necessary. I'm learning that.
Mhm. Yes,
So
true.
yeah, and someone's waiting. So tell us your take on all of that.
So another big soapbox thing of mine is there are people out there that are waiting to receive from you, and they never will if you don't show up because
Yeah.
of reasons.
For reasons.
Yeah. So you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing them a disservice because who's to say that what you have isn't the key that can unlock something in their life?
Yeah.
So do not hide and throw yourself under a box and in a dark
Mm.
room under some blankets and turn the light off for
Yep.
whatever reasons you have, because there are people that really are waiting for you. You have something
Mm.
that is necessary for them to impact their lives in a positive way. You owe it to them and to yourself to be you without fear and without any kind of judgment, and just be yourself and reach out to those people.
Yeah, and one of the exercises I just went through was just asking people, what was it like to work with me? And there's such beautiful responses, and
Yeah,
I grew up in a situation where everything was pretty much criticized. And so I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop. They're starting to say
right,
something nice, and I'm just waiting for the rest of it, the critique.
right.
And there was none of it. None of it. Even when somebody said, "Yeah, yeah, you did mention that, people either love you or hate you." And
Hmm.
that's because you just don't put up with anybody's bullshit, and that some
Yeah,
people just aren't ready for it.
they're not ready
I was
for
like,
it. Yeah,
true enough, true enough.
yeah.
So it was all really positive. It was great. Great, great, great. Okay, so your impact is real. Tell us more about that.
So another encouragement, another form of encouragement that I like to give my potential students, clients, whatever, or current, is a lot of times they don't see the value in what they have. And
Mm-hmm.
it goes back to what you're saying. If they grew up in an environment where whatever they had that they loved and shared got critiqued, then yeah, that'll snuff that out really quickly. So they're just like, oh, this isn't any good, or I didn't go to school for this, so this is horrible, or anything like that. And what they aren't realizing is something that I've come to realize over the years. I just started sharing my pictures. I sing anyway. I've done that professionally. I've been paid to, so I'm not scared to do that. I started sharing my pictures. I started sharing my writings, and I started just sharing things because it was kind of like I was hiding behind the computer screen anyway. And so I couldn't
Right.
see anybody's judgments. If they didn't like it, they didn't like it. I was never going to know. So there was like that barrier there. And so I wasn't really scared to do it.
Cool.
But what ended up happening is I would get messages. Oh my gosh, I love your work. I love everything that you're sharing. And I'm just like, wait, come again? What? Who?
Come again?
What?
Who? You talking about
Who?
me?
Me? Yes. That
Who you talking
happened.
to, Willis?
Right, exactly. What you talking about? I kid you not. It happens for me weekly.
Nice.
That's
Well, this
not an
print was
exaggeration.
my first encounter with you. You had put that out in a Facebook group, and it just like, oh,
Ah,
that's like really cool, you know? It's just one thing led to
yeah.
another.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
getting
love
that
that.
positive feedback is, it's like, that's like cold, hard facts, black and white facts. Oh, well, I'm not really doing anything to touch anybody's life. Nope, here are the facts. Your impact is real. You know?
Nope, here are the facts.
So keep going.
I love it. Very cool. And that's what I do in my work. Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Yes. You're
That's how
yes,
we
I've
do our
learned
process,
that.
actually.
None of this ego stuff, none of the story. Give me the facts.
I know, right? Shut off the movie player, please.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm a good storyteller, so
And
I do get I get
that
in that trap sometimes.
yeah, right. That was some of the feedback I actually got today of how different the process I take people through is because I keep people completely out of emotion. And the way I do it is to keep them completely out of story. And the way I do that is to have them close their eyes and shut off the movie player.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's why I can even work with complex PTSD. I don't go to that story at all. So it's really
Right.
beautiful work.
It
Okay,
is.
so freedom of expression. Definitely art
Mhm.
and, the paintings and the journaling and the singing and all
Yes.
kinds of things. And, you're like this amazing creativity coach, where someone, whatever they want to be doing for their creativity, you're there with your wonderful, calm, and positive feedback, you're a deep listener. I mean, that's just juicy stuff too. Women just
Yeah.
don't get that from each other. We just aren't taking the time to even
Yeah.
get together as women, and that's why retreats are popping up
Mhm.
and this barrier that we've all been hiding behind called the computer, that wall is coming down and we're getting real and
Yeah.
we're touching each other and we're hugging each other and we're looking each other in the eyes, like in the soul. So
Right.
it's so cool. I love it. All right. So to review, nothing is impossible. Time to let go. And your voice is necessary. So I'll have you sum all that up for us, Madeline.
So yeah, whatever you've been telling yourself as a reason why you can't, it's time to chuck that. Like throw that
Jerry.
in the garbage because that's a lie. There is no reason. If you are sitting here and you are inhaling and exhaling, you can. You literally can. There's nothing stopping you. So
Right.
go ahead. Allow me to encourage you to go ahead and forget all of those what ifs because 9 times out of 10, or I will say this, 90% of the stuff that you're what ifing about doesn't even happen anyway. So just go ahead
Nope.
and let it go. Think about what truly makes your soul smile really big.
Mm.
Whatever that creative thing is, do it.
Nice.
Just like Nike is right. Just do it. And the minute you finish, share it with somebody, because someone out there is going
Wow.
to be encouraged by what you've done.
Right?
Really that
I love
simple.
it. It's so cool. It's so beautiful. We're waiting. We're waiting
I'm
for
waiting. I'm
you.
waiting. I want
We're
to
waiting
see
for
what you
you.
got. I want to see
You're
it.
right. I want to see what you got. I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
And you have an amazing free gift for everybody too. Rise from Creative Ashes 30-minute experience. That is seriously generous of you. Thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about what someone would get, because they can just email you. You'll send out
Mhm.
your scheduler link and
Yes.
hook them up with you. And so, what is that going to be like? Somebody takes you up on that 30-minute, no strings attached, just you're
Right.
spending 30 minutes, Rise from Creative Ashes. What's that going to look
Yes.
like, Madeline?
So this is something that I've really enjoyed doing because I've gotten some really awesome feedback from it. Um,
Yeah.
what happens is we get on the phone together and we talk about a creative challenge that you're having. It can be a creative block of some sort, like writer's block,
Oh,
or a creative
cool.
block, or it can be some kind of deeper mindset issue that's
Mm,
affecting your creativity. And I'm going to help you overcome it. I'm going to help you
cool.
get on the path to fixing that for good. And
Nice.
then, this isn't even on the slide, but afterwards, probably a week, 2 weeks later, I'm going to follow up with you and say, because I'm going to give you some homework, and I'm going to follow up with you and say, hey, how's that homework going?
Nice.
What's going on? Let me hear it. Yeah. And yes,
Great.
you're right. I'm a great listener. So
Yeah, and you love deep conversation. You're just a
I
lot of
do.
fun.
I
Yeah,
do
you're just a
deep
lot of fun.
conversations.
Yeah, and women just, oh my gosh, we love to talk because we actually process by talking. Where
Right.
guys just go in their man cave and have no
Right.
talking. It
Yep.
doesn't work for us.
No,
So I
not for
just
me.
I just love that so much. So thank you. That's like, oh wow, and then they get a follow-up call too. That's
Yes. Yes.
fantastic. Thank you. All right, my dear. Is there anything else you would like to share with everybody before we go?
Sure. You are amazing, and you're gorgeous, and you are loved, and that's why you're here.
Mhm.
So you've got all
Yeah.
kinds of awesome gems that you can throw in the direction of someone else and help them realize the same things about them.
So get on it.
Yeah, get on it. Get on it.
Get on it, people.
I'm on it. You're
I
on it. Let's
love
all
it.
get on it.
Yeah, right? Oh,
Yeah.
this is so cool. Well, thank you so much, Madeline. It's just such an honor to have
This
you
was
on.
great. Yay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.